Have you ever wondered how just a few simple phrases can completely change the way you speak English? What if mastering daily conversation didn't require years of study, but just the right words at the right moment? In today's lesson, we're unlocking 75 powerful English phrases that native speakers use every single day. Phrases that can instantly boost your confidence, fluency, and natural speaking style. Whether you're chatting with friends, ordering coffee, or joining a work meeting, these expressions will help you sound more relaxed and connected. So grab your notebook. You're about to discover English in a way you've never seen before. Have you ever wondered how just a few simple phrases can completely change the way you speak English? What if mastering daily conversation didn't require years of study, but just the right words at the right moment? In today's lesson, we're unlocking 75 powerful English phrases that native speakers use every single day. Phrases that can instantly boost your confidence, fluency, and natural speaking style. Whether you're chatting with friends, ordering coffee, or joining a work meeting, these expressions will help you sound more relaxed and connected. So grab your notebook. You're about to discover English in a way you've never seen before. This lesson isn't just about memorizing vocabulary, it's about learning to speak the kind of English that people actually use in real life. The main goal here is to help you communicate more naturally and confidently in everyday situations. We're focusing on short, practical phrases that are easy to remember, but incredibly powerful when used correctly. These are the phrases that help conversations flow smoothly, that show you understand not just the language, but also the culture behind it. From casual greetings like, "How's it going?" to polite expressions like, "Let me know." Each phrase has been carefully selected for its real-world usefulness. Instead of diving into complex grammar or long reading passages, this lesson takes a conversational approach. You'll hear phrases used in realistic dialogues and situations you might encounter at work, at school, or in your social life. The purpose is to train your ears and your speaking habits at the same time, so you're not just reading English, but actually living it. This immersive experience makes the learning process more enjoyable and effective. What makes this lesson especially valuable is that it bridges the gap between textbook English and spoken English. Many learners struggle because they've been taught to form perfect sentences, but real conversations are often short, quick, and filled with everyday expressions. This video helps you make that shift. You'll learn when and how to use each phrase naturally and how to respond appropriately when others use them with you. It's a major step forward in becoming not just a student of English, but a confident speaker of it. So whether you're a beginner or have been learning for years, this lesson gives you something new and useful. Think of it as your toolkit for daily conversation, small but powerful tools you can use anytime, anywhere. And the best part? You don't need to be perfect. All you need is to start using these phrases little by little, because when you speak with clarity, kindness, and confidence, people listen. And that's what real communication is all about. Now that you understand the goal of this lesson, to help you speak more naturally using real-life English, let's dive into how that goal is achieved. What makes this lesson stand out is the clear and detailed explanation of each phrase, followed by practical examples that mirror everyday situations. Instead of just telling you what the phrase means, the teacher walks you through how it actually sounds in conversations and when it should be used. This method helps you connect meaning to usage instantly, making each phrase more memorable and useful. Take the phrase, "How's it going?" for example. On the surface, it might seem like just another way to ask, "How are you?" But in reality, it carries a more relaxed, friendly tone and is far more common in casual settings. By hearing this phrase used in sample conversations, such as greeting a coworker in the morning or running into a friend, you begin to understand not just the translation, but the feeling behind the phrase. And that emotional understanding is key to speaking English like a native. Or consider the phrase, "Let me know." It's not only polite, but it gives space for the other person to respond when they're ready. For instance, if a friend isn't sure what time they're free to meet, you can simply say, "Let me know what works for you." This sounds considerate and shows flexibility, two qualities that are valued in both personal and professional conversations. The lesson breaks down why this phrase works and then reinforces it through mini dialogues and voice practice. These examples don't just come from one type of situation, they span a wide range of common scenarios. Ordering at a restaurant, chatting with friends, asking for help, expressing agreement, showing empathy, or even dealing with mistakes. Phrases like "no worries," "I'm on it," "what do you mean," and "take your time" are explored with relatable context and tone. Each one is followed by clear, simple dialogue, so you can see how the phrase fits naturally into a full sentence and then into a short conversation. Another strength of the lesson is how it teaches you to respond appropriately. For instance, when someone says, "Sorry I'm late," you might respond with, "No worries," or "It's all good." These aren't just phrases, they're tools to maintain a friendly, respectful tone. They show that you're not only using English words, but that you're also reading the situation correctly and responding with empathy. This phrase-by-phrase breakdown, paired with real-world dialogue, helps build your confidence step by step. You begin to realize that English conversations aren't built from big, complicated structures, but from small, meaningful exchanges. And with each example, you gain not just knowledge, but the instinct for when and how to use these everyday expressions. This is where fluency begins, not in memorization, but in practice and connection. After exploring how each phrase is explained and supported by real-life examples, the next step in the lesson takes that learning to a deeper level through structured practice using short sample conversations. These mini dialogues are where all the vocabulary and context come together. They're not only helpful for understanding how a phrase sounds in real speech, but they also allow you to imagine yourself actually using it in your own conversations. The power of these dialogues lies in their realism. They reflect the kinds of exchanges you might have with a friend, a colleague, a classmate, or even a stranger in public. For instance, you might hear a conversation that begins with, "Hey, how's it going?" and continues naturally with, "Not much, just chilling," or "Sounds like a plan." The phrases aren't presented in isolation. They flow together in logical, friendly interactions that mimic real-life speech. This is essential because language fluency isn't about knowing individual words. It's about knowing how to connect them in context. What's especially useful is that each conversation is short, simple, and focused, allowing you to repeat it out loud without feeling overwhelmed. These bite-sized practices are excellent for shadowing, repeating after the speaker, which improves pronunciation, rhythm, and listening comprehension. For example, a dialogue about planning a movie night might go, "You, hey, want to catch a movie tonight?" Friend, "Sure, that sounds good." You, "Great, let's meet at 6. Friend, "Sounds like a plan." In just a few lines, you've used 4 common phrases in a natural setting, and this repetition trains your brain to recall and use them automatically when similar situations arise in real life. The conversations also help you internalize emotional tone and social cues. When someone says, "Sorry about that," and the other person replies, "No worries," you begin to understand not just the words, but the friendliness behind them. Or if someone says, "I'm not sure," and follows it up with, "Let me check and I'll let you know," you learn a respectful way to handle uncertainty. These are social skills embedded in language, skills that help you connect better with others. Moreover, these sample dialogues serve as templates. You can take the structure, change the topic slightly, and make your own versions. For example, swap out movie night for dinner or study session, and suddenly you've created new conversations using the same core phrases. This makes the learning flexible and expandable, so you're not just memorizing, you're building a real conversational skill set. By practicing these short, realistic exchanges, you move from passive understanding to active use, which is the true goal of speaking English fluently. And because the conversations are friendly and approachable, they help you feel more confident and ready to use English in the real world, one line at a time. As you become more comfortable practicing with the short sample conversations, you begin to notice something deeper happening. These phrases are not just about language, they're about connection. What makes this lesson so powerful is how it teaches you to express more than just words. It shows you how to express emotions, empathy, and personality in English, things that are often difficult to learn from a textbook. Take, for example, the phrase, "That's too bad." It's a small sentence, but when used sincerely, it tells the other person that you care about what they're going through. Or consider, "I hope things get better." This phrase is not just polite, it shows comfort and kindness. In the sample dialogues, you hear these phrases in real emotional contexts, when someone misses a party, doesn't get a job, or is feeling down. You're not just learning what to say, you're learning how to say it in a way that feels human. Many of the 75 phrases in this lesson carry similar emotional weight. For example, "No worries," "Don't worry about it," "It's not a big deal," and "Take your time" are all ways to make others feel safe, supported, or less stressed. When you respond to someone with, "It's all good," or "You can do it," you're doing more than speaking English. You're building trust, encouraging someone, or creating a sense of calm in the conversation. This emotional intelligence in language is what sets apart fluent speakers from those who simply know vocabulary. It's what helps you fit in, whether you're joining a casual chat at school or collaborating on a project at work. And the lesson teaches this gently through example, not by lecturing, but by showing you how these phrases work in real human interactions. The phrases are also incredibly versatile and applicable. They're not limited to one setting or age group. You can use them at work, in a cafe, during a phone call, or while texting a friend. And because many of them are short and common, you'll hear them frequently in movies, on TV, or in everyday conversations with native speakers. This repeated exposure helps reinforce the phrases in your memory, making it easier to recall and use them when needed. Perhaps the best part is how approachable the learning feels. You don't need to be perfect. In fact, saying, "I'm not sure," or "Let me check," is already a sign of good communication. You're not pretending to be fluent. You're building fluency through honest, natural interaction. You're learning to sound not just correct, but kind, relaxed, and confident. In the end, these expressions give you the tools to connect emotionally, not just grammatically. And when people feel heard and respected, your English becomes more than just a language, it becomes a bridge. After understanding how these phrases help you express not just thoughts, but also emotions and connection, the next step is turning that understanding into habit. And that's where consistent practice comes in. This lesson doesn't just give you the tools, it encourages you to use them again and again until they become second nature. Because fluency isn't something that happens overnight, it's the result of small, steady steps repeated daily. The video gently reminds you that you don't need to be perfect to start speaking. You just need to start using what you've learned. Even if you only remember 2 or 3 new phrases today, that's already progress. Over time, these small pieces build a strong foundation. You begin to say, "Sounds good," without thinking. You automatically respond, "No worries," when someone apologizes. These responses become a part of you, not just memorized phrases. To help you with that, the lesson encourages active engagement. Repeat out loud, pause and mimic the speaker, write your own dialogues, or practice with a friend. These techniques may sound simple, but they are extremely effective. Speaking aloud trains your mouth and memory. Writing your own versions of the sample conversations helps you personalize the language. Practicing with a friend adds spontaneity and confidence. These are all forms of daily micro-practice, and they are far more powerful than cramming grammar rules once a week. The lesson also emphasizes the importance of consistency over intensity. Even 10–15 minutes a day can lead to noticeable improvements if you do it regularly. The brain learns best through repetition and exposure, especially when it's spaced over time. That's why the channel uploads new videos every day, to keep you in the rhythm. You don't need to do everything at once, you just need to keep showing up. And most importantly, the lesson reminds you that every phrase you learn is not just a word. It's a chance to express yourself more clearly, kindly, and confidently. The more you use phrases like, let me know, you never know, or I can't wait, the more your English becomes a reflection of your real thoughts and feelings. It becomes a tool for connection, not just communication. So as the teacher says, grab a notebook, practice out loud, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Watch the video again tomorrow, try a new phrase in a real conversation, or simply shadow the dialogues while doing chores. Every bit counts. Fluency is not a finish line, it's a journey. And when you take even the smallest steps every day, you'll be amazed at how quickly you begin to feel comfortable, confident, and truly at home in English.